But to keep things moving along, I'm now going to introduce Felicity Brown. I don't think you're any relation with Paul.
No.
Felicity from Chinta Air Tours. How are you, Felicity?
I'm well, thank you. Brown is a popular surname.
I was going to say, yeah. And did you fly in just for today's session?
No, I'm here in Adelaide for a couple of days.
Oh, good, good. So, as you might see on the screen, Felicity is the owner and she's also a pilot for Chinta Tours. So, question one, if we get started straight away, explain what makes Chinta Air Tours unique in 60 seconds or less.
We offer tailor-made air safaris of Australia, particularly specialising in South Australia. The tours depart on demand with a minimum of 2 people, and usually each tour is an exclusive experience. So people can depart on the day that they want to depart. They don't need to fit in with a scheduled departure. We have a range of aircraft on offer, and the difference in the aircraft can be the number of people that can be carried, the places that we can access. Because of the size of the aircraft that we can use, we can land generally very close to the accommodation, and it means that it reduces your travelling time on the ground. As we know, there's some fabulous things to see in Australia, but they can be a very long way apart. So it means that for the access from Adelaide, we pick you up at your hotel, any hotel in Adelaide CBD, and depart straight to the airport, and then it can mean within an hour you're touring on Kangaroo Island, or you're in the Flinders Ranges, or you're across on the Eyre Peninsula. The tours are all-inclusive, so include meals and accommodation and tours on the ground with local tour guides. The accommodation that's included is usually the best available, and as you can see, there's a whole range of the accommodation that's included in the tour. The most surprising element about the tours is how much people can do, how much time is saved by not sitting around in an airport waiting for a connecting flight, but instead being able to walk out to the, turn up at the airport, walk straight out to the aircraft and depart straight away. It means that this really gives you back your holiday and allows you to spend time enjoying good food, good wine, good company. Now in the bottom photograph of this slide, you'll see actually a photograph of the dining room at Seascape Lodge, which you've just heard about from Paul, and you can actually see Paul on the right-hand side of the photograph there doing his hosting duties. Talking up a storm. Of course, with reducing travelling time, it does mean that it allows you time to enjoy the wildlife of Australia and enjoy what it is that you came to Australia to see. The highlight of our tours is always the wildlife, unique to Australia and fabulous to see. I'm leaving gaps for questions, John.
Yeah, no, that's sounding all very, very good. When you're talking about the surprising elements, what about the actual aircraft themselves?
Most people are surprised to see the size of the aircraft. For a lot of international travellers, we do get people who the smallest aircraft they've been on is the plane that they've come to Australia on. And but particularly with the size of the aircraft that we use, it means that we can fly at quite low heights. And so people see as much from the aircraft as you would from almost as much as you would see from a ground tour. So you do get to see, for example, cows coming down to water on an outback station. You do get to see a lot of the scenery.
Yeah, I guess that's the point I was going to make. A lot of people are surprised at the diversity within a short space of time. So you you could be seeing the remarkable coastline of the Eyre Peninsula or Kangaroo Island, and then within no time at all you're up into the desert landscapes up north past the Flinders Ranges. So I think people are always surprised at the different landscapes.
It is, and with our tours we do combine a range of different experiences within the one short tour. You'll see here details of our most popular tour, which is 4 days, 3 nights, and starts at Ayers Rock, and 4 days later you're at your hotel in Adelaide. In between you've seen the opal mines of Cooper's Heedy and the fabulous landscapes of the Flinders Ranges. The flying time each day is kept down to no more than about 2 hours a day. So it does mean that by lunchtime you're at your next destination, you spend the afternoon on tour, relax with fabulous food that evening, and the next day get up to start it all over again.
Fantastic. And Felicity, have any changes been introduced since the last time that we spoke?
We do. We've launched a new tour which is 5 days of outback wildlife. This includes 2 days on Kangaroo Island, hosted by Kangaroo Island Wilderness Tours, and 3 days in the Gawler Ranges, which is on the Eyre Peninsula. Now, this tour guarantees Australian wildlife in the wild, and in both locations the tour guides are local to the area. So when they're talking about an experience, they're not talking about this is what I've heard or I'm told that X happened. They're telling you the stories of incidents or activities that they've been involved in. And that for me is an absolute highlight. To be able to talk with people who've lived there and hear their stories, I think is a fabulous experience.
Fantastic. Looks like a great tour. The Gawler Ranges, for any of you who haven't been up there yet, I know the Eyre Peninsula is a region that's on the rise in terms of popularity. You've got very, very unique landscapes, beautiful coastlines, as you can see on the screen now, all the way from salt lakes through to lush scenery as well, and then of course diving with the sea lions, the great white shark and tuna, to name a few. And Felicity, I'm going to assume, is this your favourite image?
It is. It is. This is my office. When I'm not behind a computer, this is where I'm out and about doing things. And we've got a number of pilots that work for us. We choose our pilots for their personality and for their hosting ability. Because the pilot stays with the clients for the whole way through the tour, it's very important that they are personable and knowledgeable, as well as being excellent pilots. But in terms of our office, this is pretty much it. This is out on the Nullarbor. This is the Nullarbor Cliffs in the far west of South Australia.
Looks pretty good to me. And that brings us to our final question. What way can you assist the webinar participants to help promote or learn more about your experience?
Well, I understand that SATC, in their very efficient manner, will be supplying us with a list of who's attended here today, and so we will be sending out an information kit to everybody who's been involved. And apart from that, please give us a call, get in touch with us via email, and pretty much you will get an answer within 48 hours. If you're thinking of selling a air safari, the most common country that uses this sort of experience is Africa, in which they're linking a lot of the game parks by light aircraft. So it's a similar sort of experience, but this is the Australian version. So of course, being in South Australia, it's much better.
Absolutely. So we've now got a couple of questions. Just a reminder, if you have got any, please type them in the chat box now. But the first question is, if someone is travelling alone, is there a single supplement?
Yes, there is. We do. We can provide tours for one person, and depending, we can perhaps, with the permission of everybody involved, we can link them up with other travellers around the same date.
Fantastic. I've also got a question from Lise. Is a one-way possible? So, for instance, Kingscote, Adelaide, Flinders to Coober Pedy, up to Ayers Rock or Alice Springs?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. That's not a problem at all. In terms of the one-way tours, if there's 2 people on the aircraft, the luggage allowance is 30 kilos per person. I can't translate that into pounds, I'm sorry, I can't remember. But if there's more people, then the luggage restriction generally comes down to about 15 kilos per person, and we do make arrangements for excess baggage to be shipped to the hotel at the end of our section of your holiday in Australia. So, for example, if there's 4 people in Adelaide, they take 15 kilos on the plane with them, and their excess bags will be at their hotel in Ayers Rock or Alice.
Fantastic.
And I'll just touch wood, but we haven't lost anybody's bags yet.
Okay, no, I don't think we've got any more questions. Lee says thank you. So I think we'll wrap it up there. If you have got any other questions, please feel free to contact either Paul or Felicity at their email addresses that you saw on the screen. I'll also be sending out a quick follow-up email with their details as well. So once again, I'd like to thank Matt, Felicity and Paul.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Just a couple of reminders. Our next session is actually going to be held on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February, and that's going to be same time, 1:30 p.m. Pacific, and we will have the Louise and A Taste of South Australia presenting. I know...
I expect flowers from you, John.
They're already in the mail, Matt, so no worries there. So I have had a couple of questions regarding the webinars being placed on YouTube. The last session is not up there yet, but it should be up there in the next 2 days. So if you did miss that session, we'll be sending a quick reminder email out. But until then, thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to speaking with you on the 14th of February. Bye for now.
Thank you.